and I'm very confident that all the powers of the state are being handled, and I think they're being handled rationally so far. What this means is that we also have a responsibility in the way we react. My generation, the people who were targeted now, and this is a shift, and it means that we're taking one step at a time. Just doing what we can. As you've probably seen on Friday night, one operation was called Open Door. People opened their houses in this neighborhood to random strangers, just giving them shelter. I found a place to stay for the night that way. I had to leave the bar I was at because there were firecrackers in the distance, and at one point all the phones started ringing and we really had to leave. I found room. I really had never met these people. I just arrived with a bottle of wine because, well, you can't come there, empty-handed. And it was a very eerie night. As you said, the next morning, I did donate blood. I'm really not the only one. To be frankly honest, I queued for 5 hours and then I didn't get in. And it's something that happens in Paris. It was the very first time in my life that I was so proud of not getting in nowhere. And now we are still trying to figure out what to do. There's another operation that perhaps you've heard of, which is called Meet Parisians. We are offering places in our homes and at our tables, and we're cooking meals for stranded tourists. Those who are left in Paris and who have not much to do, it's kind of hard to get out of the country. The museums are closed.
And you're opening your doors to them. Alexandre, it was very nice to meet you, metaphorically, on the programme this morning. Thank you for summing up what perhaps a generation of young Parisians is feeling so eloquently this morning. And thank you to you for listening to Weekend. Thanks to our guests, Kate Adie and Mihir Bose. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.
You're with the BBC World Service. Here's a taste of what's coming up in this month's Global Beats. It's Indian music, but not as you know it.
I love putting two different instruments together from two different parts of the world.
India's charts are still dominated by Bollywood, but in this month's Global Beats, we meet the musicians who are taking things in a new direction.
The moment I started singing, I think I always connected more with English music. Bollywood classics, I never really connected with them.
Now you can find an exponent of just about every musical genre here. Bluegrass, electro-pop, hard rock, even country. Join me, Anu Anand, as I meet the best of a very eclectic bunch in India's growing music scene. Global Beats at bbcworldservice.com.
Today on Outlook Weekend, we'll be defying expectations with the Indian dancer who started her career only after she lost a leg.
When I entered onto the stage, they asked me if I was going to be using any kind of support to dance. And I said no, I'm just going to be dancing on my one leg. They were kind of shocked, like, how is she going to do it? So they weren't really believing me, but then I started dancing.
Join her and me, Matthew Bannister, after the latest BBC News.
BBC News with Jerry Smith. One of the 7 suicide attackers involved in the Paris attacks has been named as Omar Ismail Mustafa, a French citizen already known to police as an Islamist radical. The Frenchman was identified from a dismembered finger. Police are reportedly trying to establish whether he'd been to Syria. The Islamic State group has said it carried out Friday's attacks, which killed at least 129 people. Belgian police have arrested 3 men in connection with the attacks. The Justice Ministry says the arrests are linked to a car rented in Belgium and found near the site of the worst incident. France has said it will continue with its airstrikes against IS in Syria and Iraq. IS said the Paris attacks were in retaliation for French military intervention. World leaders are gathering in Turkey for the G20 summit. The meeting is expected to be dominated by the Paris attacks, as well as efforts to end Syria's civil war. Islamist militancy featured significantly in the latest televised debate between the US Democratic presidential hopefuls. The former Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, said IS must be defeated, not just contained. Senator Bernie Sanders criticized her record, saying the chaos left in Iraq had caused the rise of Al-Qaeda and IS. The president of Myanmar, Thein Sein, has said the transition